Well, the story of us coming to Canada had a lot of like aspects. Like part of it was because I have family in the States. Not that it has anything to do with Canada, but it was just getting closer to them. And also, my dad had a career opportunity here that he decided to take on. My parents came here. They visited. They looked around, and then they decided we're going to give it a shot. Initially, it was supposed to be only for a couple of years, but as we settled in, it kind of got longer and longer. And now it's been 8 years. It was very overwhelming. I actually moved here right around the Intifada with all the bombs and everything. So I remember even walking like in the mall was weird because any like suspicious like object would be like, um, but then it was very weird because I was not used to having like empty streets in Israel because everybody's like all over the place, and I wanted to meet new friends, and I would go down the street and there would be like nobody. And later I knew, because I came when I was 14, later I knew that everybody's at camp, and for us there was no such thing at that age, so it was extremely weird. And then also in terms of my family, like my brothers, they were going to camp, but then here, like they didn't have any room because everybody's doing the registration like years in advance, and that is something that we were not used to and we were not told before. Well, I guess that it was very like calming to know that it is a multicultural country. I think that as opposed to any other country, it I'd feel better here. Um, but at the same time, we did live in an area that had a lot of Jews and or Jewish people, and so I didn't feel the multiculturalism as much. That actually happened more when I came to Western. Um, so I got more exposure. Also, downtown Toronto, when I started going out, that I got that exposure. Um, so I think that in a sense, it was kind of easier for my family to find our way because we did have a lot of people that would like be as same as us. We didn't get any external or governmental support. It was mainly through my dad's friend, which displayed the career opportunity for him here. So he knew the area, and my parents, again, when they came to visit here, he showed them around. He showed them a few areas, a few options, and so they knew what area they wanted. And basically, what happened from there, my parents hired an agent, and the agent found the house for us, and that was kind of a mistake because we ended up in this like horrible, horrible house, and we had the contract for a year, so we just waited to like get out of there. So like he was basically our help, and then when we got here, then they like that family introduced us to a few people, and then that's how slowly my parents made friends. But there wasn't any like place where we knew we can go to. But later, one of the friends that my parents met told him about the BJCC, which is like a Jewish Community Center, and they said that they're going to help us and they have camps and blah blah blah. And so we did go there, but it wasn't very helpful. And also one of the problems was that we didn't really speak English. So I remember when we went there, like we couldn't really talk to them. They didn't know Hebrew. Weird. Well, not really, but we expected, someone to speak Hebrew, and that was in that end. But in terms of the language, like my mom, until this day, she doesn't really speak English. She tried a few programs that the government has, the ESL programs, and it helped in the beginning because she didn't know like anything really. But after that, like now, she needs to work on her conversational skills, and they don't offer that really, and she's still in the search for it actually these days because she wants to switch careers, so she needs to, because until now she was teaching Hebrew, so it wasn't an issue really, but now that she does, it's hard for her to find a program, even a private program that would actually like target itself toward her needs. Well, I think that the biggest change really happened when I moved to university because, as I said, the area that we lived in, and also throughout the years that we lived in Toronto area, um, there were a lot of Israelis, and it was very comforting to be in that sort of environment. And I didn't make, to be honest, a lot of effort to go out of there and actually do it. Also because I had kind of um, I didn't like the way that like even the Canadian students were treating me because they just looked at me as like, you're not as good as us, and like you don't speak English, and they would talk to me like a baby, and like I'm not a baby. So I really hated them. To this day, I kind of like see them and I'm like, ugh. So, um, so I that's why I kind of stuck to like the Israelis, and then slowly I started knowing other people, but not Canadians. They were all immigrants because that's where I felt comfortable. I just did not like Canadians whatsoever. And then moving to university, obviously I had to like encounter that. And so in the beginning it was very challenging because it's completely different culture, very different. And so I slowly started talking to like more Canadians and starting to really learn their culture, and I learned that they're not as monsters as I thought they were. And it really depended on where they're coming from, how they were raised, etc., etc. So now I'm feeling way better. I can almost say I love Canada. It's different, but I mean, for what it is, I do like it. I think that it, as a lot of people probably say, it has a lot of opportunities, and it is multicultural. It's just that you need to know how to get to know those other people and how to really, be together and not go to your own group. Um, and university really taught me how to deal with all the cultures all together, which is something that I didn't learn before. So I can say that it's way better now. I still, and I think that to the day I die, to be dramatic, I'm gonna call Israel home because that's where I was born. That's where a lot of my family is, and that's where I was raised for 14 years. So my all my values and basics and everything is like there. That's where I'm from. So I'm always gonna call it home. Now what's different in terms of the culture? It's there, as same as all the other Middle Eastern countries. It's very warm and welcoming culture, and here it's more everybody. And I mean, it's like that in the States as well, from what I noticed. Everybody's just in their own business, their own immediate family. Just they're gonna be nice to you, they're gonna respect you, but they're not as warm and welcoming as there. And also there are little things, as I mentioned, um, like booking camp. Here they do it like a year in advance, like in the winter where you can't even think about summer, you know what I mean? So they do it, and like there it's like as soon as you finish school and summer starts, okay, what camp do I want to go? And then you go and register. Or even booking like camping trips, like here they do it like 6 months in advance, and there it's like, okay, we want to go there this weekend, let's go. So it's way more planning too. So um, those are, I guess, the big things.